Are you someone who is thinking about stopping your SIPs? Do you also feel confused about choosing SIP or a lump sum as a mode of investment? Join us on this Instagram live where we talk about how to manage your SIPs properly and also what are some of the consequences for stopping your SIPs.
In this video, we are going to talk on the topic, the lumpiness of returns. I have done 33 years in market, Subra has done 45 years in market. We've seen multiple cycles. Sometimes when you count the number of cycles you have seen, you get the fear that you already spent too much time in the market. But when you look back at the cycles, one thing always strikes you, that in every market cycle, most of the time you didn't make money, and in a short burst of time you made most of the money. This is almost a universal experience. So when somebody asks me a question, is this the right time to enter the market? I wonder whether he understands how the market works, because you need to be in the market and you need to spend time in the market to simply ensure that when those lumpy returns happen, you don't miss out, you don't get left out. I'll give you this short story of an investor who, after COVID struck, took out all his money and went to fixed deposit. He said, I can't take this volatility anymore. Let me go and sit in fixed deposit. As you all know, deposit rates went down initially and equity markets went up. This investor had previously spent 4 years in the market through the most difficult times, investing and building a nice portfolio. What took 4 years to build, he dismantled in one trading session. But it's his choice. And after that, he's never been able to get back into the market. He's not been able to mentally reconcile to that rash decision he made of going out of the market with the personal expectation that he would come back later when it is the right time. He never found the right time. So today we are going to ask Subra his experience on the lumpy nature of the markets and his learnings from the cycles. Over to you, Subra.
I entered the market as a small trader in 1979, which means buying 50 shares here and selling and things like that. And somewhere I think 84, 85, 86, I decided that I would look at shares which were giving dividends greater than the fixed deposit rates. And there will be many such companies, including companies like Apollo Hospital, which was available at 9 rupees and paying 10% dividend, or Cholamandalam at 16 rupees paying 10% dividend. So those deposit rates, the dividend rates were better than the fixed deposit rates which Cholamandalam itself used to give. So I was getting better return, and I was thinking some terminal value also I will receive, and some of these shares I held on for very long periods of time. That is when you realize that you will keep buying, you will keep selling, you will keep doing all that stuff, but at the same time you will also be creating a portfolio of shares which you may never sell. Like Warren Buffett says, these are shares which you hold forever.
Permanent holdings.
Permanent holdings. Now it takes, yeah, in my case it has been the Murugappa Group, it has been Birla, it has been Tata's, it has been, okay, Hindalco. Hindalco in my portfolio is older than me. It was bought by my dad in 1957. So typically some of these shares, yeah, your Colgate, Siemens, Procter and Gamble, these are all the IPO shares of 1977-78. George Fernandez still holding. So these you just hold and you keep wondering why should you sell. There is no reason to sell except if you think that you have spotted a company better than that. That has to be the only logic to sell, unless you need money for spending. That's a different ball game altogether. And you realize that over a long period of time, if you keep the noise out, somebody will say, oh, this period to this period, Colgate has underperformed the Sensex, right? I realize that when you are doing long-term portfolio building, even IRR is noise. It doesn't really matter, because most IRR calculators or people who do IRR calculations somehow miss dividends, and I have never been able to understand that, because if you take the S&P 500 or if you take the Dow Jones, 50% of the return is because of the dividends. So if you take the TRI of the Sensex, it is something like 95,000. The index is only at 65,000, but the TRI is at 95,000. 100 rupees that you put has become 95,000 today. I mean, that's not a bad return. The 30,000 gap, which everybody misses in the TRI, I am quite surprised. So if I look at my Colgate return or Supreme Industries return, you may have a fantastic IRR of 17% or something, but when you include the dividend, it just jumps up to 19%. That's a huge jump. It looks like only 2, but spread over 40 years, it is 2 year on year 2, right? 2 for 40 years is huge. People forget all that. So it does happen that for a long period of time, Hindalco for a long period of time did not pay dividend because Indira Gandhi had controlled aluminium prices. These things will happen in the world. Your Larsen and Toubros will go through time correction, it will go through price correction. Reliance went through time correction. HDFC Bank is currently going through time correction. HDFC Limited used to quote at a discount for a very long period of time. It used to be 85 rupees, a 100 rupee share, right? These are today blue chips. All these shares were at a discount at some point in time. I mean, not all of them would have been at a discount, but HDFC Limited, I remember very well, used to be at a discount to the 100 rupees also.
Now I'm going to ask you a question relating to when was actually the best time to buy these shares. It was mostly the time when nobody wanted to buy any share, right? That's the best time, when the markets were sideward, when they were in a long time correction, and when no returns were being made on the appreciation side. That is, you are not making portfolio gains, but you are making dividend. It was that phase.
Yeah, it must have also been, if I don't remember this phase, I was too young, 1976, 77, I was still in school, so I don't know, but that is the time when the market, during emergency, markets must have crashed. Right, for 18 months, markets must have gone nowhere.
The emergency was as bad as COVID, probably.
So as bad as COVID, we don't remember, I don't know investors who invested then who are today articulating about it. So that must have been a fantastic time to buy. So lot of such things when a prime minister is short, and those are the times when markets go down, maybe it's a great time to buy, but you can never buy at all those times.
One thing I noticed during these times when the markets went nowhere, like 94 to 99. What I noticed about that phase was that it was a very interesting phase to invest for dividend yield. So, while we were chasing high dividend paying companies at that time, we were trying to increase the dividend yield of the portfolio because it gives you stable income, and it also gives you a safety net because the stock price won't fall below a certain level. So, during that period, we didn't make any capital gains, but the yield was high, right? So for 3-4 years, we kept on packing the portfolio with good yielding stocks, which are very, very good capital allocators, companies where the managements were solid, they had a dividend policy in place. So actually, we are betting on dividend during this phase of 4 years. And then when the market starts going up, these are the companies that give the lumpy returns. That's where the market focuses upon. So by just reading into the management philosophy on dividend, the business potential to grow, you are able to predict how much dividend growth will be there for 3-4 years. So you are actually focusing on trajectory of dividend growth in your income, but you end up getting lumpy capital gains on the side. So actually, peculiarly during at least 2 cycles where returns were not there for 3 or 4 years, and then you had some returns in the 5th year, slightly better returns in the 6th and 7th year, and highest returns in the 8th year. We had at least 2 cycles like these. For 5 years, we were focused on dividend and improving our portfolio, And 6th, 7th and 8th year, this investment philosophy of dividend improvement, dividend accumulation gave us all the capital gain. This was the bedrock on which the capital gain happened, the lumpy returns happen. So if somebody says, I will come in the right time to start investing in the 7th year, my view is there would be no framework to buy like this. So high returns won't happen. It can happen accidentally in one cycle because you bought, let's say you bought tech sector, all tech stocks and you went up. But the chance that you are able to do it in every cycle in an opportunistic way is very low. And most people who claim to be timers of the market tend to get beaten by those who are invested in the market continuously for longer periods of time. This is my experience because I have been invested in the market throughout my investment career, fully invested. What's your experience?
Yeah, I've always been fully invested. In fact, I tell people the reason why you make money is you don't interrupt your compounding. Don't interrupt your compounding. That's very important. If you think you're so smart that, I mean, let's face it, April 2020, none of us thought that September 2020 market will hit an all-time high. None of us. The most optimistic of us thought maybe 1 or 2 years is gone and things like that. It recovered. India handled COVID well. Nobody expected that to happen. You then thought, oh, Pfizer has found the solution, so Pfizer is going to make a lot of money. Look at Pfizer prices now. The pre-COVID prices are the same as Pfizer prices now. So it is almost impossible to guess the ultimate price of a share. At best, you can guess the EPS. Trying to guess what PE the market will give and how much the market will take it up and bring it down and crash it, you have no clue. Market loves certainty. Why does market love Colgate? Why does market love HUL? It loves certainty. It knows maybe there will be 8% growth, 9% growth, but it will happen. People will continue to use toothpaste. The other companies which are trying to build, it will take a long time. I mean, nobody knows whether Zomato will make money, but it is building market share.
But still, in between, there will be a phase when market will start thinking that Patanjali will rock Colgate Sport.